Hi everybody, I'm Diana with Light Your Flame, and today I have Jennifer Finegold. She's an acupuncture therapist and hypnotherapist. Jen, thank you for being with me today.
Thank you so much.
Happy to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so essentially with the practice that I do, I practice acupuncture as well as hypnotherapy. Acupuncture is based upon the ancient tradition of Chinese medicine, which goes, beyond 3,000 years, and it's essentially where we have points located along our body or our nervous system that, when activated with the needle, send certain signals to our brain, which have a certain cascading response within our body. So for instance, if you were to do points for relaxation, it sends the signals to your brain to create more dopamine or serotonin to create that relaxation sort of feeling. So acupuncture is amazing in that it really helps to recalibrate the body, to create balance and homeostasis, and to create overall relaxation. Hypnotherapy is based upon the premise that we are kind of split between a conscious and a subconscious mind. The conscious part of our mind is this rational, critical thinker that gets us from point A to point B. And the subconscious is that part of us that's the storehouse of our emotions, memories, habits, beliefs, and patterns. And throughout the day, we're constantly operating in and out of it without it even necessarily being aware of it. A really good example I like to share is when you're driving home. You may be thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner or how your day was or whatever it may be, and you don't consciously think about driving home, but you still make it there because it's become a habit or a pattern.
Sure.
So it's a matter of tapping into that deeper realm within our mind that is this storehouse, and to help us and assist us in creating new habits and patterns that are life-serving and positive.
I love that. Wow. So you touched both on acupuncture and hypnotherapy, and so I'm interested to know, I'm sure everyone else is too, what led you down this journey? How did you know that you wanted to be an acupuncturist or hypnotherapist?
Yes, so it definitely has been a personal journey. I feel like ever since I was in my elder teens, I was always interested in the power of the mind and how the mind works and things, and surely I was put to the test because in my early 20s I was actually in an accident where I was hit and my pelvis was fractured in 3 different places, and I was bedridden for a couple months. And my doctor at that time tried to tell me that I wouldn't be able to rollerblade and jog and do all these things that I love to do, and I didn't want to take that into my consciousness.
Sure.
So I figured, hey, at that time, since I'm bedridden, it's a time for me to really put the mind-body connection to the test. So every day I would imagine my pelvis recalcifying, coming back together. I would imagine myself rollerblading and jogging and doing all these things. And sure enough, I was able to heal, twice as fast as the average patient. And
wow.
My doctor was really amazed, and I was amazed as well. And that's what really led me on my healing journey, where I was like, okay, there's something to this and I have to explore it deeper. And that's when I, joined a hypnotherapy program to delve deeper into understanding the concepts of the mind and associations and things. And then from there, I learned a technique which is called emotional freedom techniques, where you tap on certain acupuncture points to help release and balance and things. And through that, it was very powerful for me. And that's what led me into wanting to explore acupuncture.
Wow, that's an amazing testimony, just that you had that accident, but that you were able to also put into effect the power of the mind. So I love that. I'm so grateful it let you down this journey, and that we have you as a practitioner. And so I guess for people out there who've never done acupuncture and who are interested in getting a session, what would you want to tell them? Because maybe they're scared of needles, or they think it's a big needle, or
Yes.
so painful. So can you tell us a little bit about a session?
For sure. So I want to just reinforce that acupuncture is very gentle. I mean, especially based upon the practitioner, but the needle is very small. It's typically the circumference of a human hair. So it's nothing that you would find like in a doctor's office. The gauge is way higher there. So you may feel a little prick upon insertion, And when you know, get a treatment, a lot of times, immediately you feel this flood of like serotonin and dopamine. You feel this amazing feeling of like relaxation and harmony.
Yeah.
So, you know, many times you're going to have a very powerful experience, but overall it's just all about, you know, what it is that you want to work on. So based upon that, you know, there may be some conjunctive qualities based upon, you know, herbs or even hypnotherapy and things like that to really help you to heal, mend, and restore in all perfect ways.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask you, so if people, I know that maybe they're wondering out there, well, why would I come in and get an acupuncture session? And can you just tell us what are some of the things people come in for?
Yes. So acupuncture and both hypnotherapy can be very powerful in helping things such as insomnia, digestive issues, overall balance, relaxation. Who doesn't need more relaxation? You know, it can really help with migraines, any hormonal disorders. I've helped patients, you know, be able to be fertile in order to have children. So it can really be for a whole slew of conditions that are beyond just, you know, what may be well known. And of course, pain. Pain is definitely one of the main things that acupuncture is known for, but it can go beyond that.
I love that. I know personally I came to see you because I was, you know, just on my own healing journey, just dealing with depression and anxiety and also just lack of energy and also physical pain. So Jen has helped me so much with all of those things and I'm so grateful. One of the things I do want to share is I had lost a friend and it was a suicide, and so it was very heavy for me because it was a trigger and it brought up so much stuff. And I really feel that had I not seen her, because she was able to do points on the meridians where, you know, it was able to help me, I guess, release the grief. Because of her, I was able to actually go to the funeral because it was so heavy that, like I said, it triggered emotions from losing my parents. And I was just like in a fog. I had done so much work already and I thought it was so much better, but it just took me right back and I was just kind of like a zombie. And I just didn't have energy. I was very sad. And so I didn't feel up to even being up to going to the funeral. And because I was able to see her, she really was helped me with those meridian points. And I was able to release some of the grief that I felt from losing him and the loss, and just to have my own spirit and energy back so that I was able to show up and be there for him and his family. So I'm so grateful. And that's just one of the examples. She's helped me so much. I've seen her for over 2 years. And so I can say that, you know, she has helped me tremendously. I know that there's other people who've seen her, that she's helped so much as well. And so I truly believe in acupuncture. I know a lot of people use acupuncture. It's like maybe the start to more of the healing or holistic modalities that are out there. And so I'm a big believer in that. And I know that there's more specializations that you are into, and it's, you know, you do acupuncture, but I know that you're such a wealth of knowledge and wisdom. And so what would you like to share about maybe the specializations in your practice?
Well, and I would just say, if you are on your first journey of acupuncture, you know, just try to start simply. You know, if you have certain medical conditions or what have you, even let's say if you can just feel less stressed or more relaxed, like that can be very powerful in feeling chronic pain and things like that. So you just have to understand that one trigger can have a ripple effect into all other areas. So to try to keep things simple can be very powerful. But as far as, you know, the acupuncture realm, I also specialize in an area that's called 5 element. So that's based upon the elements of nature: fire, earth, water, metal, wood. Mm-hmm. And based upon that tradition, you know, all of the elements are associated with different organs, functions, colors, sounds, and even qualities. And so when you treat in this realm, you're really treating on an even deeper level. So, you know, for instance, the water element, all of us are connected to all the elements of nature, but some may be more predominant than others. So the water element is, you know, connected to the urinary bladder and the kidneys, the waterways of the body. And so, for instance, if that element is out of balance, that may manifest as depression or a lack of flow or a UTI or even kidney stones, because this kind of essence of flow and, going with the whole essence of life. But when it's in balance, it can really revitalize one to really feel this sense of will and this sense of faith and trust and this higher sense of purpose. So, that's one example. And I just want to, I shared this to reinforce that with acupuncture, it really taps into all levels of the individual. It's not just physical.
Sure.
It can be emotional, psychological, and even spiritual. So it really harmonizes mind, body, spirit.
I love that, and that's so true. I always feel that with each session that I go to, I'd learn so much from Jennifer. So I'm just really grateful. And so I feel like also we can go back and just say, because I know that I've seen you for 2 years, so I'm familiar, but for people who aren't, when they first come in, I'm sure that they let you know their symptoms or what their problem or issues are. And so you would do like maybe an overall check on them. I know you check the pulse, and so maybe you can explain a little bit more what, like if I was a new patient, I was coming to see you, what would happen?
So essentially, the initial session is anywhere from 1.5 to 2 hours, and that entails that you go through all of the body systems. So I'm going to ask you about your circulation. I'm going to ask you about your digestion. I'm going to ask you about your cycle if you're a woman. I'm going to ask you about your sleep, like all of the different facets of what makes us human. And in doing so, it helps us to understand what may be out of balance, to understand what points to do to bring you back into balance. So it's a very harmonious and integrative sort of component as far as understanding what you specifically need for your health and well-being. And that's what I love about it, is no two treatments are ever the same. It's always tailored to what you need specifically. So during the initial treatment, I'm going to be asking you specific questions about your bodily systems and your emotions and everything else, and then you get a treatment. And then in follow-up sessions, we have a premise of what it is that you want to work on. So we focus on that and integrate that into each session until you feel a sense of harmony and balance.
I love that so much. And I want to also say that, when I first met you, I know I was taking different things, and like not over the counter prescription. And I remember you saying, it is good, and we never say for you to get off your medicine, of course not. But what I loved about you is you said if you keep taking these medicines, or if you do take stuff over the counter, it's like a Band-Aid. And so you're treating one thing, let's say for a headache, but you're not getting to the root of it. And what I love with this practice and Jennifer is that she's put me on Chinese herbs, and that really gets to the root and source of the problem. It may take a little bit of time for that to get into your system, but it does get to the root and you feel better. And this does not hurt your liver, or it doesn't have side effects like all of the other medications that are over the counter or prescription do. So I really feel like it is such a natural and more holistic approach to your health. So for, people out there who are curious and you want to, just be gentler on your organs and really get to the root of whatever issues that you have, I highly recommend this. And maybe you can speak a little bit more about the Chinese herbs that you
Yes. So a lot of times, acupuncturists are also trained in, Chinese medicine or Chinese herbs. So the whole premise is that herbs really help to work on a deeper level to heal what is going on, as opposed to a lot of times pharmaceuticals and over-the-counter medication can just kind of be a Band-Aid, as you said, and just kind of like, cover symptoms and things, but it's not long-term. And that's the power of herbs and things, is that it really gets to the root of, okay, where is this disharmony, and how can I, create a better sense of harmony? That's what it's all about. So that's what I think is very powerful, is just kind of shifting our attitude and our mentality in thinking that, we can deeply heal through herbs and things and acupuncture without having to continuously take, over-the-counter medication or prescriptions, because a lot of times herbs just when you take them for a period of time, after a period of time, it's like your body's assimilates it, it harmonizes it, it integrates it, so you're able to fully heal. So it is very powerful, and it doesn't have a lot of the side effects that you may find with pharmaceuticals and over-the-counter medication.
I love that.
It's natural.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I know that for me, they've helped me so much. Another thing that you implement into your practice is essential oils.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the way they smell. I have like all of your blends here. But can you want to talk a little bit about what essential oils do in conjunction with what you do, your therapy
Sure.
and your practice?
So essential oils are kind of based upon the same premise as herbs in that they have a very wonderful natural tendency of healing on a deeper level and naturally. And so what's really cool and powerful about essential oils is that when you breathe them in through your olfactory senses, through your nose, and that's connected to your limbic system, which is that part of your brain that kind of stores your emotions and things like that. And so they've found over time and even through studies that when you breathe in certain scents, it triggers your brain to have a cascading response through your neurosystem or your sympathetic nervous system. So for instance, if you breathe in lavender, they say if you breathe it in for up to 20 seconds, it literally creates this alchemical response within your body. So it's very powerful. So, lavender, for instance, if you're just in the beginning phases of essential oils, if you have lavender is the most wonderful, magical essential oil, I would say, to have on hand because it has so many amazing healing properties. But even just to smell it, like after 20 seconds, you kind of breathe it in, you take it in, it tells your whole sympathetic nervous system to relax, to calm down. It's naturally relaxing. It really helps with sleep. Therefore, it can help with insomnia. But it also has a numerous, other qualities such as helping with burns, with skin conditions, with a lot of other things. So essential oils are really amazing because they're essentially the essence of the plant.
I love that.
Which is, just like herbs. So
Yes, yeah. I love that you incorporate all of these things in, and I have definitely taken a different approach with my healing and, because of her. So I'm so grateful for that. Since you are around so many people and you deal with so many different patients daily with different issues and afflictions, how do you stay grounded and balanced?
I would say I incorporate different techniques and exercises into my daily practice, which really help me. So I do meditate on a daily basis when I practice. I also incorporate Qigong, which is, kind of this movement of energy that also helps you to consolidate your Qi or your energy. So, for those practitioners out there that may be watching this, one simple technique is before you start your day with patients and things is to imagine that you're surrounding yourself with a golden or a white bubble. And you just set the intention that within this bubble is only love, peace, and happiness, and that anything that is outside of it just is deflected and bounces off. I feel like when I start the day in that way, that definitely helps me. It helps me remain present with my patients and not kind of take on, their stuff.
Sure.
Between each patient, I also wash my hands, which is a way of kind of like cleansing and clearing. So.
Okay. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But also if people are not practitioners, if it's just us, so you recommend meditation daily and just some kind of...
Yeah, meditation. And if you feel like, and I know you're pretty heightened yourself, like if you feel like you can easily take on, like let's say the weight of the world.
Sure.
If in your daily meditation you imagine that you are surrounded by this beautiful bubble and that within it is all love, light, peace, and happiness, that's going to set the intention for yourself in the day that you don't need to take on those things outside of you that don't really serve you.
I love that. I think that's so powerful. And I always love to ask all the practitioners that I interview that, because I think, in our society, in our day, myself included, we start the day, we're looking at our cell phones, or we have to get up and go here and go there. And it's really important to just ground yourself first, to take a few minutes for yourself to meditate or to envision this light. And it's
about being in your own sacred space.
Yes. So I definitely think it's great if you can, each of you can, take a few minutes to do whatever that means to you so that you can set the intention for the day. And so I wanted to ask you as well, so for anyone who's going through maybe a hard time or going through their own affliction, do you have any words of advice that you'd like to share?
That's pretty big, but I will say just, what comes to my heart and mind is that right now, know that you are never truly alone, and that there are other people out there willing and totally capable and able of helping you. And sometimes it's just a matter of reaching out, and know that you can find the harmony, the peace, the love, the healing that you need, and that you are loved because you exist. So never forget that, and remember that you are here for a reason, or you would not exist.
Oh, I love that so deep. Now you can see why I love her so much. I've seen her for over 2 years. She's one of my dearest friends. And like I said, she was such a catalyst in my own healing journey. So I'm so grateful. I highly recommend her. And so how can people find you?
Essentially, you can go to my website, which is www.fshealing.com. That's short for Fiery Sage Healing. And, feel free to email, call me, what have you. I'm here for you, and just know that I wish you all the best and that all is well. Life is good. Enjoy it.
That's so awesome. She's located in Austin, and also you can find her on Facebook and Instagram at Fiery Sage Healing.
Mm-hmm.
On Facebook, are you also Fiery Sage Healing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can find her there. Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank
So
you.
grateful. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.